April 15, 2013 was one of those days where everything seemed perfect for a marathon, and the streets were filled with thousands of people cheering on the runners. Little did anyone know that a day of joy and celebration would soon turn into tragedy and terror. The Boston Marathon, the world's oldest annual marathon, has become an iconic race, attracting over 30,000 participants from around the globe to run its 26.2-mile course each year. The day began like any other Boston Marathon. The crowds applauded as the runners made their way through, and the energy from the cheering fans created a perfect setting for the race. 9:32 a.m. The elite women took their turn. 10 a.m. The elite men and the first wave of runners began. Among the sea of runners was Ethiopia's Lalisa Desisa, who finished first in the marathon. At 2:49 p.m., an explosion occurred near the finish line. The cheers in the crowd turned into screams. That was only the first bomb. 12 seconds later, the second bomb went off, about 600 feet away. Runners, spectators, and volunteers were running everywhere, frantically searching for help. Soon after the bombing, people stood up for one another. Within minutes, first responders arrived, and the victims were taken to nearby hospitals. The whole country was in panic. The search for the attackers began immediately. Police established a large search area, and the FBI took charge of the investigation, reviewing thousands of CCTV footage. It was an extensive investigation, involving numerous law enforcement agencies. As the FBI began examining photographs taken by bystanders, one image led them to a significant piece of evidence they were looking for: a bag that held the explosives. They examined hours of CCTV footage in search of the owner of the bag. The case took a significant step forward when investigators found the base of a pressure cooker on a nearby rooftop. What seemed like a regular item was, in fact, a key element in the bomb's construction. The FBI later identified that the bombs were made from pressure cookers, nails, explosive powder, Christmas lights, and a toy car remote controller. The search for the suspect took a critical turn when the FBI identified their first suspect in the footage, a man in a cap, talking on the phone, who seemed unaffected while everyone else was panicking. After the explosion, he was recorded walking away from the scene. As the FBI carefully reviewed the CCTV footage, they discovered that two people were clearly involved, one in a black hat and another in a white hat. Despite their billion-dollar facial recognition software, the FBI could not identify the suspects. They were left with just two blurry images of the men wearing caps. After a lot of back and forth, the FBI decided to release the suspects' photos to the public. On April 18, the images were broadcast nationwide on Fox News. Meanwhile, just after the attack, the brothers tried to blend into their usual routines. As if nothing had happened, the younger brother returned to his university dorm, hit the gym, and even attended a few parties with friends. The brothers, seeing their faces on TV, panicked. They decided they needed to flee Boston immediately. They had in their possession a Ruger 9mm semi-automatic handgun and a few homemade explosives. Desperately in need of another weapon, the brothers attempted to steal one from MIT patrol officer Sean Collier, but Officer Collier refused to give in. He was shot multiple times and tragically lost his life. The brothers didn't stop there. They hijacked a car, taking the owner, Dun Meng, hostage. They made him withdraw $600 from several ATMs. Their next target was to get to New York and set off more bombs in Times Square. Meanwhile, the car owner overheard them talking about the bombing and realized who they were. When the suspects stopped the car at a gas station to grab some snacks, Dun Meng seized a chance to escape from the SUV and called 911 to report the carjacking.
911.
Please help me, please. They have guns.
Where are they?
They are in the Shell gas station in Memorial Drive.
They were in front of the gas station?
Yeah, I just got it wrong. They say that they are they did the explosion, marathon explosion. They are Muslims.
The police set up barricades in Watertown, determined to stop the brothers. The brothers threw everything they had at the police. Every bullet, every explosive. Tamerlan, the older brother, made a desperate charge at the police, but he was quickly overpowered. Meanwhile, Dzhokhar ran over his own brother and fled in the SUV. Tamerlan was rushed to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead due to gunshot wounds and injuries from being run over. The FBI confirmed their identities through fingerprints. It was later revealed that the brothers were refugees of Chechen descent who had moved to the US in 2002 from Dagestan, Russia. The elder brother, Tamerlan, had previously been interviewed by the FBI in 2011 about possible ties to extremist groups, but he was released due to a lack of evidence. The investigation intensified with a citywide lockdown implemented for the first time in Watertown. As the FBI's shelter-in-place order was in effect, the police received a call from a resident, David Henneberry, who noticed bloodstains on the boat in his backyard.
I have a boat in my yard. There's blood all over the inside. There's a person in the boat.
Are you sure?
I just looked in the boat.
Can you look at the boat without making yourself noticeable?
I can look at it right now.
Okay.
I'm outside.
Go back inside. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Stay away from the boat.
The area was quickly surrounded. Using thermal imaging technology, the police confirmed that Dzhokhar was inside the boat. They used smoke grenades and stun grenades to disorient and incapacitate the suspect. The situation took a dramatic turn as more than 200 rounds of bullets were fired at the boat after an officer accidentally fired his weapon. Once the police learned that Dzhokhar was unarmed, they used a remote-operated vehicle to remove the cloth covering the boat, and then they moved in and took him into custody. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev was put on trial and found guilty of all 30 charges, including conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction resulting in death. On June 24, 2015, he was sentenced to death and is currently imprisoned at the United States Penitentiary, Florence ADX in Colorado, awaiting the outcome of his appeals. Even though the Boston Marathon bombings left deep scars, the city's annual marathon stands as a testament to Boston's enduring spirit. Boston Strong symbolizes the city's determination to heal and move forward while honoring the memory of those affected by the tragedy.